Pick it up, let's go!
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the discount. Today is February 22nd, 2023. Not waiting for the markets to close today. Today is Ash Wednesday, so I'm going to church. So I figured that I would kick off here and just describe what I think is going on in the markets, or at least let's interpret the tape and what's happening here. Like I said in the video about 2 days ago, the market is coming down to test some pretty important stuff. So maybe it's going to continue to ride this 50 period moving average, maybe pop back up to the 20, or perhaps it's just going to eat time off the clock for another leg down closer to the 100 and closer to the 200 period moving average and the bull bogey trend line. We don't know, but that is what it looks like, and that's what it appears to want to do. So we're going to keep an eye on things here. What is it? It's up about a half a point or 0.5% right now. So nothing to be alarmed about. And you'll see in the day trades in a second that I called out on the Lazy Day Trader Telegram channel. So I'm actually going to just do the Telegram channel for now. Don't think I'm going to go with the website. So it's a lot easier for people to access and read through, and I can comment in real time what's going on in the markets. And I could show you that right now, actually. So I launched this morning. I said, screw it. Let's just get right into it. And posting some rules so you guys can check out, any decently experienced trader, intermediate, even somewhat beginner can understand a little bit about, the rules, why I take certain trades, how to stop out, position sizing, examples, etc. And then we get right into updates. So today, I basically called out, 400 as the pivot. And if we go back to the chart here, you'll see that's probably what's happening as the market is live. Let's zoom in here a little bit. Yep, it's above 400 right now. So 400 does look to be the pivot. And why is that? It's a fat round number. Simple. It's a fat round number, and markets like to play games with, test, back test fat round numbers. So it came into the fat round number, dipped a little bit below, and right now it's playing games with it right now to see if it's important, if it wants to bounce off, or if it wants to head lower. I do like to check out Bitcoin because it is interesting. I think that it was holding up pretty well, and obviously, if the markets are coming back down, from a macro perspective, Bitcoin is going to come back down as well. But it is holding up really well. And like I said in a video a couple days ago, you got this uptrend that's kind of new, and you got these, and it's above all of the moving averages on the daily chart. So, I get it from a short-term trading perspective. People are highly leveraged, and they're not looking for, maybe a stop, a hard stop below, 22,195 or something in that region. You don't want to see that if you're super, super leveraged and long. But, from just a basic, market garden variety retracement, this is totally normal. If it comes back down, let's get the brush out here, makes kind of an M pattern, bounces off. I mean, all while, the SPY is coming back down. Let's get out of the 10-minute. It's coming back down to test all that important stuff, right? This big important stuff, it's coming back down. And while it does that, and we'll see what happens, obviously, when it does that, whether it's going to do that number, blah, 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 or if it's going to start coming back in, eating time off the clock below, not good. That means it's going back down a little lower. I hate this trading view brush, by the way. I have to put it in a note. In any event, that's the way I see things. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Nothing alarming at the moment. Can things change? Absolutely. Okay, so getting into the day trades, let's flip back to the Lazy Day Trader channel. So I had called out, okay, we're pretty much always going to have some type of SPY set up. If you could see that. Yep. So we're always going to have some type of SPY set up in the morning. I had called out the long scenario, which is, let's see here. The long scenario on the first line here was 399.30 down to 398.75. Okay. And the risk I clearly outlined. Obviously, it was staring at you in the face at 397. So a little bit far away. However, it gave it to you. So the first run of the number, it gave it to you. And let's go back to the 10-minute chart here on the day trade and look at what it's doing right now. So obviously, it's past 12 p.m. Maybe you don't want any of that action. But contrary to yesterday, this is exactly the setup we want when we're looking for a morning low, and it's not a trend down or a nasty day, right? So it came in. Look at this. It came in right here. This is the start of the day. It came in right on that to the dot, 399.30, the level that I called out. It gave you, and traders can do two things. You could take the scalp off, right? I took the scalp off at 50 cents and I wanted 460, which I described in the channel here. I said, okay, great job. Now let's get back to 460. Now this goes back to the execution part, right? Because on the execution part, you're staring at this and you're going, all right, well, 460, it really should give it to you. But depending on your position size and your goal, maybe you just see it chopping around up here. This candle was kind of telling because it closed below 400, which is the pivot that I described in the morning. And it starts closing below here. Maybe you just want to stop out and let's try again lower, which is what I did. So small gain, 50-cent gain, which is really what we're looking for anyway. 50 cents to $1 on the spiders is a business, right? So good first trade, not a blockbuster, but good first scalp. Comes back down. I called again, 398.75 to 398.25. Now I understand when it's shooting into these levels and you got 397 as the next risk level, that that's staring at you in the face. However, it's a little bit higher risk at this point. I called that out. Here I'll show you again in the channel. Called that out. High risk long zone, 398. Let's get back down here. 398.75 to 398.25, high risk long zone. And then I gave you the stop too, a 10-15 minute candle below 398.75, and she's likely going lower. Now it did, let's go back to a 10 minute. Okay. There we go. So before this happened, and the minute chart is again telling a better story. But before this closed below, it gave you the trade. Your average is 398.50, and the high in this candle is 399.18, right? So that's about 68 or 50, 60 cents. It gave you the trade. Now you can do one of two things. You could take half off and watch this, go lower, or you could just take the full position off that trade. I took the full position off at this point in the morning because, again, I was expecting 397. It never got there, but I was expecting it to get down to 397. Reason being, if we go back to the daily chart here, 397, you got that fat 50-period moving average right there. I thought it was going to go down and test that. So I took the full position off. I understand if traders didn't, maybe got stopped out at break even after they got the scalp portion. But in any event, SPY right now coming back down to test the 400. So two decent trades if you just wanted the scalp, and if you held it for longer, I mean, we're back up to 460, that number that I described before. So good two trades on the SPY, not blockbusters, but nonetheless two good scalps. I had called out, and let's go back to the channel here. the lazy day trades, the day trade setups. So I had called out FLNG, OSTK, and CSGP. These three setups, none of them hit their numbers, and that's okay. We're not looking for them to hit their numbers. We want our numbers, right? Now, but look at that trade. I mean, that was a 32.15 low. I had called out 31.70 and 31.40. That would have been an amazing trade. OSTK never got close, just chopped around. And same thing with CSGP. Now, part of the benefit of being in the channel, it obviously didn't get to its number, but I had called out PDD at about, let's see here. Where did I call out PDD? There we go. So it's 10:30 a.m. and I'm looking at my scanner and I'm going, okay, I have another setup here. I'm watching PD. If it gets there, PDD, which is a Chinese ADR, Pinduoduo. If it gets down to 80.50, we want that trade. At least I want that trade. And if it starts closing candles below 78.50, it's wrong. So go back to the chart here on Pinduoduo. It never got down there, but it was, look at that. It was gearing to head down there. Also, I had called out if you wanted it, and I was actually going to take a small hit on this level, which is actually a gap fill. It got close, but that's what it does. It plays games with you and it doesn't hit the level. So I had said over here in the channel, okay, PDD, there's a high risk number at 81.50, which is a gap fill. You can do half there and half at 80.50 with the understanding it can go to 78.50. So there you go. You know the setup, you know the risk. You look at the charts and you decide for yourself, but I'm doing the work and that's half the battle. Okay, let's go back to the chart here. And look at this. If this had came into our number, you know, and we're at 81 average, I mean, that's, 250. We're probably out by then. 81 all the way up to 82. Scalp off. Boom. But it didn't do that. So in any event, we are back on the spiders. Back to the minute chart. Tells a good story. Start of the day gives you a full scalp. Right? That's $1 right there. Gives you the full dollar, 50 cents off the table perhaps, gives you $1, you're out. Looking for the next level. Average on the next level is 398.50. It gives you the scalp. Or you're out at break even and we're waiting for lower. Didn't happen. But good day to start with this channel, guys. Back to the channel. I'm going to be doing this moving forward. Super easy. And I think that I'll probably just skip on the website. And you can see here, this is what I was really looking for the SPY to do to get into that 397 zone. And sorry, oh, there you go. I could show you that. So get into that 397 zone, and that's what I was looking for it to do. If you pull back here on the chart, that didn't happen, right? It just dipped lower, and then just went back up after the fact. So, but anyway, you guys have it. Looking forward to continuing this moving forward, and we'll see you on the charts. Take care.